So I'm just going to quickly go over my thoughts on all the pre-orders for Imperialis we just got on the previous Saturday. Just to start with, we got the book, which basically covers the Martian Civil War, like from like a fluff perspective and a campaign's perspective. But what we really want to cover in this is mostly for context for the rest of the video, is the 4 army lists inside it. The first army list is effectively a pure Titan army list. So if all its primary detachments are Titans, and there's an occasional Knight detachment for in your optionals. Technically it is a perfectly legal and valid list, but it does have a designer note saying that it won't necessarily be that effective because Titans can kill things very well and are very hard to kill, but they can't hold objectives. That's sort of the main caveat there. But the list itself is really good if you have an existing Legion or Adeptus Titanicus army and you just want to have a game of Legions Imperialis. You can just use your Titans and you're good. The second list in the book is basically the same thing but with Knights. This list is a bit different in that the very small Knights or armigers can take objectives. So you effectively, it's less of a compromised list, but it's still not as effective as a standard list. But you have less firepower, less survivability as for Titans, but you have some way to hold objectives. And then the third and fourth lists are both Mechanicum lists. You have the first one being Loyalist Mechanicum, and also generic Mechanicum is the best way to describe it, I think. As one of the best examples I can think of is the Mechanicum forces on Prospero fighting for 1,000 Suns would be made with the first list, not the second, as they don't have any of the technology that the Dark Mechanicum have later on. Yeah, and the second list is basically pretty much has all of the first list stuff. There's a bunch of Dark Mechanicum stuff, like the New Sphere, like the weird Wi-Fi stuff, and potentially some early-ish Demon Engine looking things. Like the thing on this cover, I think that's one of those things, yeah. Yeah, so those 4 army lists sort of give explanations for next thing. So next up we have a Titan. It's a online only bundle, so it's not going to be a box, but it's just going to be, if you buy it from Games Workshop online, you'll basically just probably get the individual boxes, but if there's a discount, you're paying, I can't remember the price off the top of my head, but it's, you're saving like $80, 80 US dollars on the box. So yeah, essentially if you do not have any Titans and you want some Titans for Imperialis, this is the way to go, just get this. If you also want to play Adeptus Titanicus and again don't have anything, there is a starter set for that, which is a bit cheaper and has about a similar amount of like models in it and the rulebook and stuff. So yeah. Next up we have a Knight one, which is 160 US dollars, and value wise the top dudes, so the Questoris and the Cerastus Knights, are 160. So you're effectively getting these big boys for free. Currently these are only available in this box. So I can't actually say how much you're saving in this box because I don't know how much the big Knights have cost. But it's probably potentially around $50. But it could be a bit more, could be a bit less. I'm not entirely sure how much they are. And then next up we have the most exciting part of this week's pre-orders is the Mechanicum Battle Group. So this is about 1,250 points. So it's a big sizable army. Costs $160 US. I believe, from the best of my guesses, it has 4 boxes inside it, like 4 of the smaller boxes. You're saving, I think, about $48. So it's still pretty good savings, and you get a bunch of really cool stuff in it. The one interesting part about the Mechanicum army list Yeah, so each of the Mechanicum formations has an optional detachment, which is either a Titan or a Knight detachment. So you can actually, the interesting thing about this is you can get this box and combine it with an existing Adeptus Titanicus army you have, and you can pretty much just make a 3000 point army. The only thing this box is missing, and technically the army list itself is missing, is air support, like any sort of aircraft. Yeah, so I've bought this box, which I originally was just going to use as an allied detachment, but because you can take the Titans, it's going to be very easy for me to make it into a full army list. Yeah, I think in the army list I would definitely bring an allied detachment of probably Thousand Suns, because I'll be painting these guys up as the Mechanicum on Prospero, as well as the Titan Legionist on Prospero. But yeah, so just basic, I'd at the very least bring a minimum sized infantry detachment just to bring some aircraft and some anti-air to protect the Titans. But other than that, I'll probably just go this box plus as many Titans and Knights as I can fit in. Yeah, so what's in the box specifically? So you get the 4 transports, which are basically, that's definitely one box. That's the easiest box we can determine. And then I think what we get is 1 infantry box and 2 automata boxes. So infantry box, I believe, is going to be the tech thralls down bottom. Every single unit that's just a 2 of. So all of these here, which is basically, it's some tech priest related stuff, a few automata things, essentially replace some very daunting stuff in the normal boxes, and potentially I think it's going to be one of the 4 ofs. So you might get 4, potentially, like let's say it's these guys here. I don't know for sure, but I think that will be one box. Also the HQ, WHQ. I think the other box, the automata box, has 4 of these big guys. Has 4 of these stands of little dudes. And I'm sure it's going to be 2 of these guys, 2 of these guys, and honestly it might be 2 of these guys as well. That does seem a bit more likely than them being in the infantry box. It depends how many options you have on these big guys. That could be taking a lot of screw space. So that is how I think it is. Unless they're throwing us a curveball and the boxes are literally 2 different screws, which would be interesting. It's more expensive for them, so I don't think that's going to be the case. But it will be interesting to see how the individual boxes are all laid out. Because that's sort of the one thing nagging at me, like how was this a thing? Because at least when we saw the Battle Force boxes for Imperial, for the Space Prince and Auxilia, we already knew what the individual boxes had, so it wasn't really a question about it. But yeah, that is basically everything that was pre-ordered this week of note. I think in the coming few pre-order windows we'll probably start seeing essentially the Dark Mechanicum stuff, the tanks, which we're missing, as well as all the individual boxes for this. Yeah, I think for so yeah, those are just my thoughts on everything this week. Basically, this box is, I think just to wrap up the conclusion for this video, both the online bundles are actually really good value if you do need what's in them. And this box itself is, again, good value. It's a really good starting point. And I think it's going to interest a lot of people. And because that's the thing, it's useful if you are an existing Titanicus player. You can just use this to make an army out of what you have. If you are a toaster fetishist, this will be appeal to you as well. And if you just like the Dark Mechanicum, this will appeal to you. Because it's interesting, I have a funny feeling this release is going to be the first time we're seeing like a proper Dark Mechanicum army I think they may have released occasional models at Fortune, I'm not 100% sure, but this is literally the first time we're seeing so much of this stuff. So I think quite a lot of people are excited just about that. But yeah, so that is the end of the video. Thank you for coming, everyone, and I will see you all next time.